Hi, I am going to give you a little video about how I teach watercolor, and I have made this bin for you for watercolor painting. It will be in my art room. You may borrow it anytime. Just shoot me an email so that I know where it is if someone else is looking for it. Inside this bin are trays. Each tray, there are 5 trays, and each tray is good for 4 students. So inside this container right here, there are paintbrushes, 4 wide skinny brushes, and 4 round brushes, 4 eyedroppers full of water, and 4 palettes with every color, and 1 palette says blue on it, and inside there are blues. And this one right here is the same blue that's in the palette, and then this one is more of an aqua, and this is more of a turquoise blue. But blue is always the first color to run out, so I figured let's have a blue palette. Then inside here is also 2 juice containers. Since you don't have sinks, you're going to need containers of water, cups. I have plastic cups for you. 1 cup per 2 students, so every tray will need 2 cups. Spray bottles, which you don't necessarily need. And that's all inside this bin. You will need to supply paper towel. I would have a whole roll handy, but 1 piece per student. An ice cream bucket or something for cleaning up, and watercolor paper. School does not supply watercolor paper, and when you're painting with watercolor paints, you really want paper that is not going to absorb all the water and get wrinkly, like computer paper or drawing paper or construction paper will definitely do that. This is the brand I like. You can find it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. If you get it on sale, this pad of 30 sheets is around $10, and it's nice and heavy. You can also use poster board, but be really careful. The kind of shiny side of poster board will just make the paints run. You will not get, you have to make sure you use that non-shiny side. So for setup, grab this bin, grab your other 3 things that you need, fill the juice bottles with water, put your kids into groups of 4, and then each table or group gets one of these. Then fill your little cups about halfway with water. Have extra water for when these get dirty. Kids will want to refill. And then paper towel, paper, and then show them the other video that I made that teaches them how to use watercolor paint. And then paint. And then for cleanup, this paint is not paint until it gets wet. So once it's wet, we do not want to tip this paint at all. Otherwise, it's going to be a runny, sloppy mess. So for cleanup time, if you can, have your students leave it flat on their desks and let it dry for about 20 minutes. That would be the best. If you can't do that, then have the students just close the lids and have it be very flat and put it back into the trays, and then you collect the trays. Just make sure everything stays very flat. If it starts tipping, the paint is going to run. And then these will be all dirty and full of wet paint, and that's where the ice cream bucket comes in. So at the end, or if their paint or they need a refill of water because it's so dirty, you can just pour it into the paint bucket, collect all the water. For paint brushes, before you, or at the end, before you put all the trays away, just grab your paint brushes. I usually hold about 8 to 10 in my left hand and go put them under running water, and just with my thumb and forefinger run it under the running water and clean the brushes off like this until the water runs clean. That's all you have to do. The brushes clean pretty easily. And then the trays are lined with paper towel, so just as long as you have 4 light blues and 4 dark blues, just stick them back in and you're done. And then stack the trays. And if these need refilling, it'd be really nice if you refilled them so that the next teacher who uses it has the bottles all filled up. So you just take the cover off, and this little part on top just kind of snaps off, and then you refill it and put it back on. Put the cover on. Pretty easy. And put everything back inside here, and then I think you'll really find that watercolor is quite nice once you get the hang of it, and once you realize that these trays will help you stay organized. But let me know if you have any other questions.